Jingle, jingle, doll. That's right. What's going on, familia? Andres Fernandez, and we have a very special guest today, Mr. Adam
Adam
Monty
Montero.
Manners Montero. If you
Hello,
don't know, you
hello.
better ask somebody. Go ahead and give him shoot him an email, Andres at salsakings.com. He can let you know all about it. Episode 187. I think this is going to be a great episode, bro. As you know, our guests select the topic that they're particularly passionate about, and Adam selected where we chose the title to be Expectations Kill Connections.
That's absolutely right.
Nasty. Thank you guys so much for your continued loyalty. Thank you to our sponsors, Miami Salsa Cruise and MyDanceShirts.com. Any specific designs that you guys like on there, go ahead and take a look. In all dance styles, if you wanted your own custom design, that's specifically what the site is for. If you have a shirt idea, go ahead and shoot it over to info@mydanshirts.com. Go ahead and specifically for one order, we'll go ahead and print that design out for you, get it shipped over to your house. Miami Salsa Cruise, Adam, that's for 2026, February 22nd to February 28th. Jinx.
Correct.
7 days, 6 nights aboard the Carnival Horizon, live salsa music every single night. We absolutely take over. It's a 100% blast, guaranteed good time. You're meeting a bunch of new friends and bringing all of your salsa community as well from South Florida. A lot of fun, guys. So go ahead and check that out, MiamiSalsaCruise.com. Getting right into today's episode. This is something, I think this is going to be such a beautiful, I want to say summary, but kind of like an overall picture painting of what we've been talking about. And I think that this particular episode is gonna nail it home. It's gonna grand slam this show. Expectations kill connections. And as we know, if we're talking about social dance, if we're talking about connecting with others, the scenario has everything to do with how open-minded we are in our approach to that initial first contact, right? I mean, and obviously from there forward, but tell us a little bit about that. I know that, of course, this carries over into personal connections as well, but I guess let's start it off with social dance.
Start off with social, of course. So, I'm really big with hypotheticals, metaphors, so on and so forth. So, if you picture una viejita having the time of her life, dancing.
Wait. What's a viejita? I'm gringo. I don't know what that means.
A beautiful, young soul lady. Good natured.
Gotcha.
But typically has a lot of experience in life.
A lot of experience in life. Got it. Understood.
So let's say she's having the time of life and then she asks you for a quick dance. Let's say you're a lead who's been dancing for quite some time. Some assumptions, some expectations come to mind. And that instantly will start to kill the connection that you have yet to make with someone. Because you have someone who's so open and so ready to just have fun, and you're expecting certain things from them that it will not flow the same.
Okay, like what?
There's a stereotype where they might be a little slow, where they have more resistance, where so on and so forth. Just things that don't feel very smooth.
Okay.
So it's just understanding that that's not fair to have expectations just because of what you see. You haven't felt anything. You haven't connected to anyone.
Don't judge a book by its cover, maybe?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay, I could see that. Okay, so then a mature woman approaches me and I may not want to, or thoughts may flood my mind and be saying, okay, I'm not going to be able to show off as much, or I'm not going to be able to be myself as much, or I'm not going to be able to get her to do things that are as agile. Is that what you're kind of more or less referring to?
That's perfect, actually.
I am forced to agree because some of the best dances I've ever had have been where, and of course we talk about this all the time, less is more and the whole deal, when I've been put into scenarios and circumstances where the only thing that can exist is the connection.
And
Not
that's
not the gravy or the cream or the toppings, right? But literally
just the foundation.
just the foundation.
actual human interaction.
And-
It's no longer about making it fancy, making it look good, making it about other people. You have someone that now you have to express that you're having fun and it's a genuine connection. You don't have the makeup with all the fancy
the
moves.
makeup.
You don't have the makeup anymore. Like you're
Ooh.
just straight faced, wake up, morning, frizzy hair. Not that I could say anything about it. But you just have to face it. And sometimes that's the most fun you'll ever have.
It's the most
Because-
real.
Most real fun. Because I know for a fact she's not expecting anything. She just wants to have fun. She asks you for a dance to have fun, whether it's your abuelita, tu tía, and someone that's just over around the corner. Doesn't matter.
So
Does
how
not
would this?
matter.
How would that work the other way around? Let's say a follow is asked from a more mature man. And when I say mature, I'm talking on the best. I think, like you're saying, the best analogy or comparison would be some full white head of hair, if any hair at all. Mature, as in, there's nothing else but purity, I guess you could say, when it comes to dancing. I think there's can be maybe that, and unfortunately I hate talking about this, but like that there could be a creeper vibe. But
Times.
if we were to remove that, if you saw somebody that is too old to have to have creeper vibes, and it doesn't have to be with somebody older. I think this is just the analogy we're using.
Yes.
Am I right when I say that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not necessarily trying to stick it to like any one group. It could be used at any various groups. I just feel like it's easier to have it in that more mature audience because that's when it's harder to apply makeup to that. They need to be real.
Okay.
They need to be real because they can't apply the makeup the same way.
Right.
They can't do the same moves the same way, whether it's a quick little shoulder or something that, regardless of what's happening.
Right.
They need to be real. So in the other way, where it's the follow dancing with a more mature man who just doesn't have the fluff anymore.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm seeing the patterns. Fluff, makeup. Okay, they don't
So-
have that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when the connection is always going to be, it's pure. That's when it's just about the fun, just about the connection, just about the human interaction. So as a follow, you have more freedom. You no longer have some guy tying you down, holding you throughout the whole time, giving you turn after turn after turn after turn, etc. And there are, don't get me wrong, the turns are fun. And there are plenty of follows that enjoy the complicated turns.
Right.
But sometimes it's just as fun to just enjoy what's happening, enjoy the moment. If there's a break in the song, because you're dancing with a more mature man, he's going to have fun with it too. Meaning now you have the freedom to express how much fun you're having.
Expand on that. That you now actually have freedom. I feel like there's a lot of depth there.
So with those same expectations, just like it has that stereotypical with the more mature audience, just like the younger audience, just because you see a more young, adoring woman, you feel like, oh, I can like drive this like a Ferrari, no problem.
Okay. Right.
So
Which is again another expectation.
yes,
Because they could very well also not be agile. They could also not be fill in the blank, and then that's going to ruin the experience. Okay.
because you don't know what their life is at the end of the day. It's a person you just met for the first time. You don't know what their life entails. To make their backstory cool, I don't know. They're surfers and they got ransacked in an ocean into a current and then smacked into rocks. Now their shoulder doesn't work as well. Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. Just random story. Let's say she just can't lift that arm or can't have rapid turns,
Or something with the hip, or whatever.
etc. Does not matter.
Right.
The point is that it's already unfair if you see that she's trying to enjoy the music. There's a good break in the song and she's moving her shoulders, moving her hips, just feeling out the music. And the guy is still trying to do a turn after turn after turn after turn after turn. It's like, let me breathe. Let me have freedom with my motion and my movements. I cannot
Space.
space. It's having that real connection or that real interaction with the music that allows you to connect to your partner in the first place.
Right. Right. And again, unfortunately, what ends up happening, I feel, is because we get so stuck on, or at least the way that I feel, and we talk about this all the time, the teaching format that currently exists is that it's so material based that we feel that the dance is the material. And obviously there's so much beyond that, hence the reason why this show even exists. There's so many intangibles that go beyond the material itself, the tangible, that it's worth discussing. And when you start to dabble in there, again, that's where the magic really begins. And I guess, yeah, you're right. I agree that the stereotype of the older generation that doesn't have the makeup or the fluff. Some of the most enjoyable dances that I've watched, not just been a part of, but watched, has been with an older couple. Yeah. Because there is nothing there except them.
Yeah. It's them.
Did you just say them at the same time that I said
fun?
them?
I said fun. You said
fun. Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No. I thought I heard. Okay, but yeah, absolutely. There's just the fun. There's just the dancing.
There's no expectations left. And you can sometimes you'll more often see that with a couple that have spent a lifetime together or a fair amount of time together.
Right.
You'll see that the most often. But what I'm trying to get into with the no expectations, that you could still have that essence, that foundation, without those years spent. Because the moment that you are asking a follow to dance with you, you are currently the king, and the one that you just asked is your queen officially. At least for me, my thing is Freda. Casino.
Let's go.
Casinero for life. It's just, it gives me the most amount of freedom and the most amount of flow, creative flow as well. And Casino feels like a very focused on the follow the whole time, because the guy's supposed to be the center, yes, but without the gorgeous woman circling him around as if she's the moon, or if he's the sun, then
right,
she's his world,
right,
or the leader and follower's world. So that's showing off, or that just overall connection, just representing that yin and yang motion. I find that to be incredibly enjoyable. That's why I like Casino so much. But within that aspect is because you have so much freedom, there's more fun to be had. And the moment that you have more expectations, you limit yourself of how much fun you could have, because you're restricting how much freedom you have.
Because you're putting it in a box, is what you're saying. You're putting by your partner. Wow. You're putting your partner, the one that you just recruited onto your team, into a box. Why on earth would we want to do that?
You just asked the one person that you wanted to dance with, express, and connect with in this tiny little,
right,
four-walled,
right,
itty
bitty living space.
Yeah, you're stuck because you want to focus so much on the move, on the move, on the move. And regardless of what style you're dancing, there's only two ways a lady could turn: left or right. The only difference is how you start it. So at the end of the day, fluff is fluff. Like, it doesn't really matter what you're doing up. It's just the connection that serves as a landline for
for everything else, right?
Yeah. So I spoke to some of my students, and the best way I could explain connection that they really found very interesting is the music is the landline, so it's the source of all connection.
Okay.
And that's the only way that we could actually communicate. So if we're ever in parejas, that's our one-on-one or face-to-face. Let's say we are only holding one hand to one hand. That's like if we're texting or on a phone call. And if we're on two hands, we're like on FaceTime.
Sure.
So just different forms of connection. It doesn't matter how. The fact is, the only thing connecting us is the music. And it's our willingness to actually be there for each other.
To actually be on the other end of the music for your partner.
Yes.
And then again, creating those expectations.
Destroy that.
Is literally going. The ultimate goal is to be able to create something new. So the second that we pass judgment is you're using the past to project onto the future, right? Am I right when I say that?
Yeah.
So then by so then by doing that, you're not allowing your partner, the person that you just recruited, the one that you want to express yourself with, to be something new for you,
Yes.
to teach you something new, and not in the textbook way.
Yeah. So
Can you you're not allowing them to offer you a new experience.
yes, because you don't know. Maybe it's only been a day, but you don't know if they took a lesson with one of the instructors and they just leveled up. It was just one small detail, one small change, and now they feel like they're growing. Maybe you haven't danced with them for a month, even worse to have expectations.
Right.
Because you don't know what they've been through over that time.
Or if you've never met them before, which is the majority of the time when we're talking about social dance. Right.
Yes. So regardless whether you have met them, have known them, or first time that you meet them, the more expectations you have with every passing day, the more unfair it will be. Because it's just like any relationship, whether it's friendly or otherwise. The moment you hold expectations towards another individual, you just limited them with every choice they could possibly make.
Do you think that that's felt on the other end?
100%.
Is that why maybe like static maybe exists between people that just meet, or it's kind of like perhaps the organic or authenticity is not there because perhaps the person is kind of casted into a box
100%.
and it's like you don't know me, why are you acting this way, or what, like, dang, okay.
So to feed more on that, let's say it's the lead who's asking to follow, and the lead is just focusing 100% on doing the move. They want to get the move right every single time. The move, the move, the move, the move. And how do you think the follow would feel? Like if he's so, or if the lead is so centralized on, I need to make this move perfect. It's not about, I need to make my follow look good. It's not about, I need to make my follow feel good with the connection that I'm giving. No, it's about the move.
It's about that task.
It's about the task. The follow's gonna feel like I'm being used. I feel very uncomfortable. I'm just being. It's just 1 + 1 = 2. Like there's no emotion into that. There's no variables that come into play that makes it fun. Because of those expectations that you're like forcing them into like this is my thing. It's like no, this is our thing. You asked me to dance. And vice versa with the follows. Sometimes I will admit our leads or just leads in general sometimes like lack that. Sometimes they're just so focused on the move that the dance almost feels lifeless. But there's times where follows just assume or expect that's going to happen by some level of degree of like what they've seen, what they've heard, what they feel in the moment. And they automatically shut off their energy when they are our life.
Oof. That is a pet peeve of mine. To where it's becoming normalized, where now dance is becoming a math problem or a task to be completed.
I can't
Yeah. It's rough. Ladies, follows. Don't allow yourself to. You don't need to be in relationships that are lifeless. Or that don't allow you to give your life in a way that is mutually beneficial or that is reciprocated is probably a way that I could put it.
And sometimes it does take time because, believe it or not, ladies, we do get intimidated when a gorgeous woman is by our side or very. Sometimes it's a certain essence that most ladies, mature, young, does not matter. They give off, and it sometimes intimidates.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. But again, I would say to the leads to that is, well, first, yeah, absolutely. Breathe, stay present. But the same thing, it's like eliminate expectations. Did you just expect her to expect something from you? Hello. You know what I'm saying? And that's, the enemy slipping through the back door again. What if you know, what if she doesn't expect anything from you? You know, allow that possibility to exist. However, the other person ends up responding, that is outside of your control. But at least you did your part in coming in innocently, which I think we've released an episode on that concept of innocence is to approach the relationship without bringing in baggage from the past. I think expectations is definitely a
Yeah.
accurate hammer on the head, if you would. But that's Adam. That is awesome. Do you feel that this can also apply? Because I know we're talking about kind of like men and women more so, but bringing this more, let's say, outside of the dance now, lead and follow, perhaps even in the workplace, like boss employee.
So I'm gonna give a pretty silly example that actually happened to me today. I just recently subscribed myself to like a food service kind of deal, and I specifically checked off a couple things in my box. I could still remember. Fue pollo asado
For your cantina.
for my cantina.
Okay.
For I pollo asado, arroz primavera, and then sopa del día. I specifically remember what I wanted to have that day, and I received it today, and I had that expectation that I was going to receive what I was expecting, because it was something that I did ask of. But I got it, and I don't see my arroz primavera. I do see a sopa del día, thank God. But I got mashed potatoes and arroz blanco, and I'm like, okay, where's my arroz primavera? I want a little bit more sabor with my rice. But I breathe, take a deep breath, I say my piece, and I take a bite. I don't know what they put in that rice. I don't know if they put some MSG. I don't know what kind of seasoning they use. I do not know. But I took that one bite of the rice. I'm like, this is some pretty good rice.
Nice.
So just because I had a certain expectation of the food or the service I was going to receive, I diminished the amount of pleasure I would normally take with eating a meal.
So you're saying that you went into it with expectation, or you eliminated that expectation before?
I went in with expectations, and I was disappointed because of it. And because I put myself in a box of expectations, I made my experience less enjoyable. That's something as simple as food.
Right. Okay, and with that said, okay, and here's the thing. And some of you listening may immediately be like, oh, but what do you mean? That's what you ordered and that's what you paid for. Yes. But that's besides the point. Adam has the option to not continue with that service anymore. That is what is in his control. But the food that's in front of him, he doesn't. And I think that's awesome that you were able to take a step back and you were able to enjoy the food in front of you,
regardless of whether or not it was something that I wanted
right
at that time.
Right. And then I think that's where the magic of being able to, oh, I don't want the arroz blanco, and he wasn't able, and he would have missed out on the magic of that something different. That's what he didn't order or whatever.
I was about to throw it away too.
Really?
Yes. I took a bite just in case. I'm like, maybe it's good. Who knows? I took a bite. I'm like, okay, I'm keeping it. But I was planning on just eating the mashed potatoes. I'm like, I'll take the mashed potatoes. I like mashed potatoes. And I was gonna eat that with the chicken and then throw away the rice. But I needed to take at least one bite to see how I feel about that rice, because I feel like I held too many expectations, and then I put myself in a box for no reason, and then I was disappointed because I set those expectations myself.
And that's exactly what we're talking about today. That's wild. That's wild. Okay, and I think that's wow. That's a great example, because something as small as that, or as maybe even applicable, something as applicable as that, something that's so common, that shape and perspective can dramatically change your day and kill the connection that you have with your food or with your meal or in that experience of that.
Even with people, you never are really aware what's happening through someone's mind, through someone's heart, what kind of hardships they're going through. So the moment that you expect something from them and they don't deliver, you'll automatically get disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whose fault is that? You for having the expectations, or the person for trying to live their life?
Mm.
So how would that be fair for them? You don't know the entirety of their situation. People don't always like blab about everything that's happening in their lives. But if you're holding expectations, why are you disappointed?
And I think right, and I think that's where having humility and letting go of the ego kind of comes in, because the only person that's going to get upset at someone else not doing what you wanted would be your ego. I wouldn't even say you.
True.
It would be your ego. So if we drop that and we allow things outside of what our mind can understand to exist, there may be, and I think we're both advocating that what it is often better than what we plan or what we can possibly plan them to be. And this is directly applicable on the dance floor. Again, some of my best dances, because I let go of that expectation. Actually,
Yeah.
I think I told a story in a previous episode about someone that I was dancing with, and long story short, we couldn't catch the one, we couldn't catch the two, and I let it go. I let the expectation of my dance partner needing to be on music for me to have a good time go.
So you forsake the music, the overall basic connection, just to have it.
For the connection with my partner.
Nice.
Like
I respect that more often.
That was a huge wake up call for me, because the music is the landline. Yes, okay, but what if my partner is completely disregarding the landline? Am I going to disregard them? I'm with them for the next 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try and do what she's doing, which was constantly switching. It was difficult, but I had so much fun. It was innocent. We were just playing. And of course, oh my God, that was so awesome. That was so fun. Thank you. And I'm over there I'm dripping a sweat like crazy. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, there was at least for me, there was definitely a big lesson taken from that, where, and to be fair, I didn't exactly, at least maybe consciously, know what I was doing. But of course, the idea and the entirety of the connection being the goal, I guess you can say, is definitely always top of mind. Adam, that's beautiful, man. I appreciate that so much, and I know that our listeners are as well. Guys, if you have a question for Adam, go ahead and shoot him over an email. Adam@salsakings.com. Definitely a key pillar to the Salsa Kings organization, who just, he's been with us. He's been with us since he had hair.
When I had hair. Long ago.
Yes. So
if anyone wants to guess my age, go for
it. Absolutely. Go ahead and shoot us over an email.
I want to say that maybe 50% of y'all can get it.
Oh, okay.
I think that would be 50. Might actually overshoot.
I think you're overshooting with 50. I think people will go less. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for your continued loyalty. Again, we hope to see you all personally on Miami Salsa Cruise next year in 2026 at the end of April. Once again, thank you guys so much, and we will catch you next week. Bye-bye.